So, welcome to today's session. The aim of today's session is to clarify things that might be resonating with you because we keep talking about high performance, peak performance, but what is it truly? How can we actually master it without forgetting ourselves? Because very often we look at success, but we forget this one missing piece to lead without burnout. And this is something I want to implement with you as of today. So, tell me if this resonated with anybody here. Do you feel like you're a higher performer, you're ambitious, but you feel drained behind the scenes? Do you rely on coffee, on sugar, or even getting like those deadline pressure to get through the day, but then crash at the end of the day? Are you constantly doing things, checking things off your list? However, you feel like it's never enough. And you might have a bigger vision of your life, of why you created your business, what kind of life you're seeking, but there's a part of you questioning if you can actually create it or even if you deserve it. And a big thing that you might be looking successful on the outside, everybody's praising you, but inside you feel disconnected, unfulfilled, or even restless. And you're here today because you are ready. You're ready to show up confidently in your day, to take action from a growth mindset and not a surviving mindset. Thrive in all areas of your life without sacrificing yourself, but as well, building a business that is aligned to your values and your vision. Or even building a family, building a life where you can actually be truly yourself every single day. If this speaks to you, then you're at the right plot, at the right place. In the next few sessions, my aim is to show you the way that you've been taught to succeed. It's actually holding you back from building a thriving life. Because let it be in business, let it be in any kind of facets in our life, we are taught to succeed in a certain way, but maybe that is not aligned to how you can succeed and have a thriving life. And when we're looking in terms of this, who am I? If you're new to my world, my name is Dina Marabi, and I'm peak performance and as well a nervous system coach. And for the past 25 years, and it kind of shocked me when I saw, wow, I've been doing this for 25 years, helping high-performing women build their energy, their resilience, and sustainable success. And the thing is, everyone that I work with, they look so successful. They've accomplished such amazing things. But behind the scenes, when I get to talk to them, they're exhausted, overwhelmed, and disconnected. And this is what I found. They don't have a discipline issue and they're not lazy. The only thing that's missing and that they're not actually following through is their capacity issue. And nobody is talking about that right now. And why do I know this? Is because I lived it. At one point, I was at the top of my career. I had the career, I had the house, and I had the relationship. I had it all from the outside. But on the inside, I was exhausted, disconnected, and wondering, why am I doing all this? But I kept pushing through because everybody was praising me in everything I was doing. I was not even allowed to complain if I was not doing good. Until one morning, I stepped on the scale and I saw I was 197 pounds. I was so shocked that I've let myself go for so long. I was so disconnected. I was wearing baggy clothes, not even realizing how my body was changing, crying for help until I saw the weight flash in front of me. In that exact moment, I had a decision to make. Do I keep going, just following through because I had the image of success and this is it? I cannot be healthy and happy and successful. Or I had to make a shift. I had to make a change because otherwise, to be honest, I felt I was going to be drowning through that process if I stayed in that lifestyle. And the thing is, this happens to so many people, let it be women or men. We have a high performance culture, right? It's all about the hustle, the hyper focus, giving 110%, which in a way is having blinders on, focusing on one endpoint with no distractions. I had one coach even tell me that you need to focus on your goal, you need to reach that number, and then you can focus on you. But that's what I did. But I couldn't even focus on myself because there's always another milestone, there's always another goal, there's always another mountain to climb. And what are the blind spots of that success that I went through and they might be resonating with you? When we're taught the hustle culture and just follow through, we actually have a constant mental load. We start overcommitting, overscheduling, and being overexhausted. We're also all taught to have emotional suppression, people pleasing, perfectionism. Let me not speak too much. Let me not show emotions. Let me not be seen as a sensitive person. Otherwise, I might not get the contract. Otherwise, people are going to see me as weak. And then disconnecting from our body and our personal life. We put our health maybe on pause until this phase is done, until that milestone, until that number in my bank account. We say no to events. We say no to family outings. We say no even to maybe starting a family, waiting, putting everything on pause until you reach that one milestone. And the biggest thing that I've seen is we end up losing our authenticity. We just go through the waves. There's no clear boundaries. We're feeling like a fraud. And then there's this whole imposter syndrome that comes in. Who am I to ask for more? Who am I to try to change? Who am I to do things differently? Even who am I to create everything that I want? Why me? Right? The whole doubt comes in. And all these blind spots of success crash our self-esteem, crash our self-worth, and crashes in many people, and they lead to burnout. And what are we told to follow, right? Push harder, be more disciplined or motivated, time block your calendar. And the big thing that gets so much under my skin, go have a spa day. When your world is crumbling and you're feeling exhausted, a spa day might be nice for those few hours. But when you're exhausted and overwhelmed, you can't even disconnect during that time. Or people say, just go take a break, go for a walk. You can't just enjoy the walk because your brain is like a hamster thinking about everything that you need to do. So instead of going for these surface level things that we're recommending very often, and just, productivity hack, work 25 minutes, take 5-minute break, they're all amazing, but they're all surface level. Because if your capacity is low, nothing else can function. Because what happens is that it doesn't happen overnight. You don't break. You start leaking. Slowly, drip by drip. A part of you, a part of your energy, a part of your confidence, a part of your self-esteem, your self-love, your self-worth starts dripping until you find yourself completely empty. And you're smart, you're successful, you're focused, you can get things done. But how can we move forward from an empty tank? And this is the core shift that I realize and I help all my clients. The aim is not by doing more. It's not about like time blocking every single minute of your day or even having more time in your day. Because I'm sure if you can have more time in your day, you'll be filling it up with other things or even trying a new business strategy. It's about removing those blinders. It's reconnecting to yourself. And the big thing is refilling your capacity. And I'll explain a little bit more what capacity is. Because capacity trumps discipline. When you're energized, focused, confident, performance, you can have the discipline, you can have the motivation. But discipline does not give you energy. Discipline does not give you self-worth, self-love, self-growth. So you need to focus on the capacity over the discipline because I'm sure you have it already. But right now you're running on empty. And what is possible when you build your capacity? Everything changes. You have stable energy throughout the day to be productive. You feel calm and focused. So you're able to take a decision from a growth-oriented mindset and not a stress survival mindset. You end up feeling confident to take actions towards your goals. No more imposter syndrome. You are the thing and you trust yourself in the process. And a big thing, you end up creating a business aligned to your values and you no longer feel like all this is going to crumble. And capacity is all about energy, safety, clarity, and authenticity. And when you have those four coming together, again, you're going to see it's not about doing more, it's about realizing and shifting a few little things through the journey that we're going to go through together here. So this is why I brought in the peak performance framework. This is something I talked on my TEDx, and the more I'm talking about it in a lot of events, workshops with my clients, is resonating so much. Your capacity is built on 4 vessels. It's built on your safety, which is your nervous system. Do you feel safe while taking actions and succeeding? Or is there always a hesitation? It's also your vitality, your energy. Are you fueled throughout your day or you're depleted? Your clarity, which is your mind. Are you supporting yourself forward or do you find that you might be sabotaging yourself, overthinking and overanalyzing? And a big thing that we're talking more and more is your alignment, your authenticity. Are you being true to yourself in your actions or you're doing it to please other people? And then there's a disconnect. And when we look in terms of all those four, if one of these is off, it can bring the energy down in everything else because everything is connected. When you look at physical vitality, clarity, alignment, safety, one impacts the other. But the beauty in this is that when you start filling up your capacity in one, it starts fueling the other ones. They're all connected. They're not separate. And when you're able to see this as a holistic, global, systemic approach, it's not one way to create growth and success and a thriving life. There's so many different things that you need to do. But as well, everybody is so different that it's not one process. Everybody has their own journey, their own unique journey. And I'm going to be sharing you that journey as we're progressing together in this series. Because here's the thing, and trust me, I was guilty in this. What we're taught about creating a thriving life, we think it's always an uphill, up and down, slowly. But if you've been in business in a while, if you've been creating different things, you're out in building a thriving life, there's curveballs happening. But here's the thing, if you look at this image of the curveballs, we're going to have winding roads. But if you don't have the capacity to keep going, you won't reach your endpoint. And instead of looking at making that journey a struggle alone, there's ways to optimize it. So it's not always a loop. It's not always a roller coaster. It's not always a big blind spot catching you off guard. We can get to where we want to go, but we need to understand what is our own unique capacity to get us there. Is it the vitality that's missing? The clarity? Is it the authenticity? Is it the safety? They're all intertwined. And depending where we are in our life, in our journey, it's going to be different vessels at different periods of our life. And that is completely normal. We are human, living a human experience, creating something amazing. We have to give a lot of self-love and self-compassion through this journey. But we also need to say, okay, there's work to be done, and this is what I need to do. Not a new business strategy, but a self-connection strategy. And no matter where you are, especially when it comes to business, your capacity is your unfair advantage in creating a thriving in business and life. The person next to you that you feel is creating so many things, they're not necessarily smarter or they have a better strategy. They're able to stay energized and focused and performant every single day, not by doing more, but in the time that they have in their day, they actually have that focus to get more done. Because let's take an example. If you have a task to do, how long will it take you to do it if you're tired? And how long does it take you to do it when you're energized? It's a whole different ballgame. So if you want to create a life where there's the time for you, your family, your business, your activities, we need to make sure in that time where you need to be focused that you're there 100%. Not multitasking, not task switching, not procrastinating, maximizing your time. And all that has to do with your capacity. And that's where you can actually do more in less time and be a high performer. Because it's not, again, by doing more, it's by knowing how to stop those energy leaks. So what I'm going to be sharing with you, and I'm going to send it to you by email, or if you're watching the replay, it's going to be linked right below. The first step is to know where your capacity is. So I created a very fast quiz where it's going to look at the 4 different vessels and different questions, and it's bring the awareness. Because the first step is to understand where is your biggest energy leak. And that's going to help you know where you are stuck and where your next step should be. Because everybody joining this journey might have a different leak in different vessels. But I'm going to tackle all of them because when you focus on all of them, everything gets expanded together. And you're going to get it if you're watching the replay. I'm going to send it to you by email as well. And this is just the beginning. If right now what I'm saying here, you're like, you know what, Dina, this is not resonating with me. Guess what? It's okay. Time is valuable and we can never get it back. But if any of this resonates with you, it means that you are ready for a different way. You're ready to change the dialogue you've been having with yourself about how you're feeling right now. That means you're at the right place. Through the next few weeks, we're going to go through step by step how to fill every single vessel of a starting point. We want to reset your internal battery so you can wake up energized and not have a 3 p.m. crash. We want to rewire the patterns keeping you stuck. You know, the beliefs, the overthinking, the imposter syndrome. We also want to regulate your nervous system because when you're calm on the inside, we make decisions from a growth perspective. When we're not calm on the inside, we're always in a panic mode. And as well, we want to reignite your authenticity. That was a big thing for many of my clients and even for myself. I was leading businesses where I felt I had to put a facade, I had to put a mask on. I felt I was living another life. But when you bring your authenticity in all the areas of your life and they're all aligned with maybe some differences, which is normal in different buckets of our life, you're going to feel like it is always you no matter what. You're not putting up an image. You're not being fake. Because if you're not following authenticity, that's going to be feeding your imposter syndrome as well of who am I to do this? I'm already faking it. Who's going to believe me? So we're going to go through all those vessels together. So the next step, number one, doing the awareness quiz. Number two, if you're comfortable, you can always share it with us in the next call, or you can also reply back to the email with your score. Again, everything that is shared here that we're doing here is private. It's all your private little bubble of safety to get through the system. I am recording these sessions just to make sure that we can have them as a replay. But whenever there is a Q&A, we're always going to be pausing the recordings and they're not going to be shared after to make sure that people can ask their questions. So make sure that you join us in the next sessions live if you're able to.